la! Your dream vacation to Vietnam starts from rupees 39,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Hello and welcome to Galatta Plus. In this video review episode, we are going to be talking about Thamizharasan Pachamuthu's Lubber Pandhu. This is a sixer of a debut, a beautiful drama made with both heart and craft. This wonderfully written story is not just about cricket but also about caste and ego, and this is not just about the two men at the center but also the people around them. A few bits of overemphasis apart, the film is a real charmer. The rest of this review may contain spoilers. In the first big scene of Lubber Pandhu, set at a cricket match, we are introduced to a great bowler and a great batsman. The story will soon shift to 11 years later and we will see these two characters as Anbu and Gettu, played by Harish Kalyan and Attakathi Dinesh, but this early scene gives us a sense of a history being established. Anbu and Gettu will soon become enemies and the fantastic first half essentially becomes a demonstration of Alfred Hitchcock's bomb theory. According to Hitchcock, if you show the audience that there is a bomb ticking away, then they will wait in suspense about when and how the explosion will happen. Similarly here, the audience is told who Anbu is, who Gettu is and what the bomb-like plot point is, and we wait for these two characters to realize how they are connected. We wait for the when and the how of the explosion. The experience is bliss. Given the milieu and the title and the number of matches we see, it would be easy to slot Lubber Pandhu as a cricket movie, but at heart this is a movie about caste pride and male pride, that is equality and ego. That first big scene with the batsman and the bowler, it also establishes this caste conflict, this potential ego conflict. Loosely speaking, you could call the story a cross between Blue Star and Parking. Two headstrong men have to conquer their differences and fight a common enemy. But those films, though not bad, were broad and one-dimensional and did not have much nuance. Lubber Pandhu is different. At a time our cinema is becoming increasingly generic, this film set in Thorudur paints its characters in very specific ways. The way the screenplay keeps intercutting between or interweaving caste issues and ego issues is a thing of beauty, except during a wordy message part at the end, which I felt need not have been so obviously spelt out. We don't really feel we are watching an issue-based film. The interaction between the many characters flows so beautifully that the first impression is that of watching a very interesting drama about very interesting people. That is writer-director Thamizharasan Pachamuthu's biggest success. The beauty of Lubber Pandhu is that it is not just the story of Anbu and Gettu. Anbu's love interest Durga, played by Sanjana Krishnamurthy, gets to do cute romantic stuff, but she also gets to assert herself when needed. When upset, her tone with Anbu is harder, more direct, but later with her father, she is softer because there is the sense that the man has let her down. There is also Gettu's wife Yashoda, played by Swastika. This older couple amazingly gets more romantic moments than Anbu and Durga. Watching Dinesh in these scenes is like watching a grown-up version of the character he played in Attakathi. This is a man who just can't stop doing stupid things, but at the end of the day, all he wants is the comfort of love. The scenes with Yashoda Sari could have so easily turned into cheap melodrama, but except for a few moments in the second half, the director has a solid hold on the film's low-key emotional pitch. Another wonderful writing touch is that Anbu and Gettu may be a generation apart, but are very similar men. Anbu gets all ego heavy when Gettu says or does things, but when Durga slaps him, there is zero ego. A superb scene in a bus later contains one of the most realistic progressions of a relationship. The characters acknowledge the pain of the situation and there is no attempt to sweeten or cutify the scene with an Ipasiri Paakalam kind of making up moment at the end. Similarly, Gettu disappears in front of his wife who shoulders the family's burdens. He is scared of her, but he also loves her deeply. Lubber Pandhu could have been just a movie about these two relationships and it would still be a joy to watch. When what we call side characters add so much to a story, it only strengthens the core plot, whether it is the caste angle in the Gettu Yashoda marriage or the things going on with other people too. Take the scene involving a Xerox shop owner named Kathadi, a generally cheerful man from an oppressed community played by Bala Saravanan. Almost every character is given an interesting profession. We see a nurse, a tailor, a painter, the above mentioned Xerox shop owner. In other words, we see what people do when they are not involved in caste wars or ego wars or cricket wars. Everyone has a life that does not depend solely on driving the story forward, and this life gives extra dimensions to the drama. In the tailor shop, for instance, we get a scene where a player asks for his caste name to be displayed with more pride on his jersey. The scene, though, is small and treated like a throwaway. A big point is made with minimum fuss, and then we move on to the next scene. Anyway, back to the scene with Kathadi. It involves a visit from Karupaya, played by Kali Venkat, who has generally been inclusive about bringing in new players into his team for the local cricket tournaments. So far, we have seen Karupaya as a nice guy, as someone who treats everyone from every community equally, but suddenly Kathadi brings out the difference between calling someone Tambi and calling them Tambi Madri. The voices are not raised, the background score does not rise, and the point gets through beautifully through the casualness of the acting, the casualness of the dialogue, through the casualness of the staging. The point about caste is made so lightly that you may not even register how major this point is. It is not something that has come up now at this point in the story. It has always been a part of these lives. The shame on Karupaya's face is the shame of a society that tries to do the right thing, but only as long as it's convenient. But this same Kathadi is also responsible for so much humor during the cricket matches, which are very well edited by Madan. He competes with the other team's fans to provide a sarcasm-filled running commentary. Every character is written with some amount of depth and dimension, so we don't just see one side of them. And it helps that this is a well-chosen cast. Bala Saravanan, Kali Venkat, Geeta Kailasam as a grumbling mother, Devadarshini as another kind of mother, Sanjana Krishnamurthy as the love interest who is both fun and serious. All of them shine brightly, along with, of course, Dinesh and Harish Kalyan. Even a tiffin box gets something of a character arc with its own distinctively angled position in the kitchen area, with its function in the Gettu-Yasoda relationship, and the way it becomes a part of a heated argument. Only Swastika sticks out because she plays her scenes in a less naturalistic and more theatrical meter that doesn't gel with the others. Sean Roden keeps the background score minimal, and the excellent cinematographer Dinesh Purushothaman covers the film as though the camera is a character watching the events unfold. There is not a single look at me shot, and yet we keep looking at, say, the wide shot that has a mother-in-law walk into her daughter-in-law's home. The older woman is probably taking in these surroundings for the first time, and so are we in this wide shot. There are so many standout scenes and moments that it's not possible to list all, but here are a few. The low-angle hero-like shot of Gettu hitting a six, the way Anbu and Durga meet at a wedding and very casually continue their romance, the way Durga's line, "I won't force you to do anything," the way this line plays a part in both love and in cricket, and especially the way the phrase Chinnapayan irritates Anbu and Gettu at different points. This is highly concentrated writing. The second half is only a bit of a letdown compared to the first half, because it follows a more conventional path with some sentimental scenes that seem more designed than organic. The phrase Ambalathimiru stings like a whiplash, but I wished the woman in the team had been given more to do. She's just a symbolic presence, and the film tends to stuff a lot of information into dialogues. Take the scene where Yasoda yells at her mother for insulting her husband Gettu. It is obvious right there that Yasoda will never let anyone else say anything bad about Gettu, so there is no need for this tailpiece scene that has Yasoda saying this to Durga as a separate line. But this is a small issue in a film that does so much so well. The screenplay is a series of small scenes and character traits, and they keep building and building and building. Usually the heaviest moments will carry the hugest dramatic weight, but the way Anbu and Gettu finally make up, or the way Anbu decides to form his own team, is marvelously casual. That is the word that kept coming back to mind over and over: casual. Thamizharan has managed something unusual in this mix of cricket and caste and ego. He has kept it all so casual, which is why the story flows so well. The films that Paranjit or Mari Selvaraj make are more serious and more filled with more angst, and rightly so. But this lighter approach is welcome too. In one of the small scenes in the screenplay, a man is asked why he likes cricket so much. He says, "I just like it, that's all." He could have made a major point about a relevant issue like how the game unites diverse players or so on and so forth, but this innocence, this casualness is so charming. This moment is like the movie, light on the surface and also deceptively deep. Lubber Pandhu is a real charmer. And that's it about Lubber Pandhu. If you like this video review, do subscribe to Galatta Plus, and see you soon at the movies.
Hola! Your dream vacation to Vietnam starts from rupees 39,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.